Hey guys, David here and welcome back to our second week lesson of this fortnight in the Lean for Life Nutrition Coaching Program. We're talking about why do we struggle to eat mindfully. So hopefully you've been going well with this first week of the program with tracking your habits and making that effort to eat more consciously, mindfully, and using the app just to make sure that you are doing it and reminding yourself and keeping that in that front of mind awareness using the app. If you've had any issues with it at all, hit us up. We'll help you out. Even if you've missed a day or two, it's not the end of the world. Get back on track now. Make this second week good. And this lesson is all about understanding yourself and talk about why do we struggle at times to eat mindfully, like this lovely lady looking at us who just polished off too many cookies or cake and clearly didn't eat too mindfully there. So let's talk about why. And we're going to talk a little bit about emotional eating, a bit about different triggers for people. It should be really good, a bit of an insight into your own behavior. So I think you'll really get a lot out of it. Firstly, recapping, we talked about what mindful eating isn't in the first lesson, and it's not what this lady's doing of binging on her favorite food, probably because she's a little bit upset about something. Who knows? She's got that look on her face. So why is it common that, we do go out about our day, and I speak to a lot of different women who start our programs, and a lot of them say things like that they eat in different ways, and it's surprisingly common, not really thinking about what we're eating in a mindful and conscious way. A couple of things, distractions. We talked about what mindful eating isn't on the first lesson. We often get distracted by things that make us not focus on the food. And then we got all the different stresses of life, deadlines, appointments, and all these other things take the priority, and we don't end up focusing on our eating because of that. And finally, we do it based on our emotions. And again, it clouds our eating. So we're going to dive into all this stuff now in a bit more detail. I want you to remember a quote I put on that original document, though, that is one of my favorites. The chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. Meaning, we don't even realize we're building these habits, and then they're set. And maybe for you, it's a certain emotion triggers the way you eat, or it's just a certain time of the day. Sometimes it's that late night in front of the TV, not really eating and thinking. Maybe it's that afternoon period where you just go a few too many times to the pantry. There's nothing wrong with any of that in terms of, it happens to all of us. We don't even realize these habits have built up on us. But what's funny is that, we make our habits one way or another, and then our habits make us. And that's what this program's all about, of course. So let's talk about the 3 T's of mindless eating. 3 T's. Time poor, tired, and ticked off. Okay, I came up with this, and I think to summarize it nicely. Firstly, time poor. You can see this nice on the rush lady. It's about when you feel rushed. It takes that focus off what you're doing food-wise because you just want to get things done, so you then get hungry, just eat something and go. The stress of deadlines, getting kids ready, responding to emails, it gets you over the food, and that's why it's pretty common for people who have this going on, and a lot of us do. It's not really focused on the food because we've got all these things we're trying to get to, and we've got that little extra stress. Number 2, we get tired, and this can be tired in multiple different ways, physically, mentally, even emotionally. But when we feel drained, eating mindfully and actually focusing almost takes effort at times. And if we are really that tired, and I think this is why at the end of a night, you sometimes just pick a food. I've done it myself because you're so tired. It almost takes that little bit of willpower to not do it, and we know that willpower kind of runs out when you fatigue. So tiredness, fatigue comes into it, and then being ticked off. And this is really just all about being emotional eating, but I thought ticked off summarized it nicely. That lady eating that donut there. So eating due to emotions, frustration, anger, stress, overwhelm, disappointment, anxiety, all of these things can make us eat. And I'm going to talk to you about emotional eating towards the end of this presentation. That'll be really useful. But just understand these are kind of the main categories of why we do struggle to consciously eat at times. And it's important to understand them and know them for you. So in terms of the action steps here, ask yourself when you're eating, do I sometimes eat mindlessly because I feel rushed or time poor? If you're working full time, kids, you've got a lot going for you. Think about the times of the day when you do feel rushed. Are you taking the kids to sports in the afternoon, one to the other, and you just eat in the car and don't really think about it? Or is it at work responding to those emails, or that lunchtime gets stressful? Is it a time thing? And then ask yourself, how can I slow down and feel more in control? Because when you ask better questions, you get better answers. So if you ask empowering questions, how can I slow down? You will find the answer. The answer is always, always there. You've got to look for it. Do I sometimes eat mindlessly because I'm overtired? And again, then how can I look after my energy more? So, maybe that's something like a sleep issue. Maybe it's time to do some de-stressing stuff, and we'll get to that in this program. But, think about ways you can look after energy. If you don't know the answers, ask us. Ask us in the program. Anyone here will help you out with ideas, bounce off others. But, trying to manage your overall fatigue, whatever that is, that will help your eating. And finally, do I sometimes eat mindlessly because I'm ticked off? Is it an emotional thing that triggers your eating. And if it is, that's fine. Everyone's got their own reasons. All that matters, again, is asking the right questions. What emotions is it? And we're going to talk in a second about that. But these are the questions. If you ask these empowering questions, you will find the right answers. And then it's just about implementing and executing, because you know what the answer often is, and doing it. And it's not easy to break those habits. They are chains, but you can do it. Let's talk a bit more on emotional eating, though. Okay, emotional eating really is just eating either because of an emotion or to achieve an emotion. It can be for either of those. So sometimes we have the desire to eat because we are upset, we are anxious, we are pissed off at someone, and we're eating because of that. And then often in the same kind of, or working with that, we have a desire to eat, so we feel this emotion. So we might want to feel comfort, we might want to feel more secure, so we're eating to achieve that emotion. And this is what we do, okay? So going even one level deeper, there are a few necessary human needs to survive and be happy. So let's try to understand emotional eating. All humans have a couple of needs that you could look up. It's really interesting stuff. Two of them are comfort and certainty, okay? These are two needs that we need in our life. We need to know there's a roof over our head. We need to know that we're gonna make it home, that our car's gonna work. We need to know there's food on the table. There's a lot of things we need in life, okay? And if we're feeling uncertain or anxious, or there's all these stresses going on that we're not getting certain about, food is one way to achieve that, okay? Food becomes the vehicle to reach those means. So let's say you finish that massive day at work, you're a teacher, the kids have stressed you out, and it's at 4:30, 5 o'clock, you're done with them, and you just want to get that security back in your life. You know that little chocolate bar is going to make you feel more comfortable, more secure, or having that big meal. So you go to that to get that feeling. Just try to understand at this stage. And then the thought activity, to start working through this, is if you think comfort eating is a challenge for you, think about other ways that will give you that same sense of comfort and control. So things like doing breathing exercises. Take a minute, 10 deep breaths, 15 deep breaths. Get out, go for a walk, put some music on. Go for a bath. Nice magnesium salt bath, maybe to recover from a workout. Have a massage, do some reading. If you've got animals, just give the dogs a scratch and just do something so you feel good. Think about what it might be for you. This may not be an answer straight away, so then you may just want to try one of these for a week and see if it makes a difference. See if that 4:30 cravings and those emotions to eat kick in. If you go for a walk, you come back feeling good and you beat it because you've kind of just built up that confidence, self-esteem again. Or maybe it's just pulling out a book and having a read. Maybe it's doing the breathing exercises. If you've never done them, you'd be amazed what they do for your physiology. So have a think about this. It's really important to just put that little bit of thought into it. Try some of these exercises. Understand that beating like a habit like emotional eating is not an easy thing. Okay, it's not like something just going to happen overnight. But if you make a decision to work on it, you would be surprised how much a decision does for you. Okay, and again, we're here to help if you need any advice on this stuff. And maybe it's really relevant to you, maybe it isn't. So final words, this lesson is just about understanding, getting to know your particular behaviors. Don't be afraid to take some notes down when certain thoughts or emotions come up and you realize that they're driving certain behaviors for you. Okay, there's a review activity at the end of the fortnight, the end of this week, which will be a great way to summarize any of these learnings for yourself for long-term good habits. So if you discover certain things do beat your stress and beat the comfort eating, and then in 4 weeks' time you slip back into old habits, you can go, cool, I remember that I did this and it helped me conquer this particular habit. I need to get back into that. Let's do it. So this can be really, really useful to build your own success factors for you, because you are unique. You are not like everybody else, and you need to understand. We need to understand what works for us for your results. That's really important. So that covers today's lesson. We've got through the first fortnight of lessons. You've still got to finish off, obviously, the habits for this week. Keep tracking it. There's going to be those review questions and then something new next week to work on and keep things moving in the right direction. Any questions, any support needed, hit us up. We're here to help. But otherwise, keep at it. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you next time.